Millions of people in Asia and around the world will be watching when Filipino boxer Manny Pacquiao fights Brandon Rios in Macau later this month. And not all of them are boxing fans. Jameson Wong tells us now more.
Chris, few athletes have experienced this level of admiration, expectation, and pressure. China's Liu Shan comes to mind. And this is a relationship Manny Pacquiao and his Filipino fans embrace. He's lost 2 straight and last tasted victory in the ring 2 years ago, while a right hand from rival Juan Manuel Marquez ended all that best pound-for-pound talk. Yes, a lot has changed for boxing's only 8th division world champion. He's a congressman now and has adopted a new religion. Despite calls from his family to retire, Pacquiao plans to keep fighting and is far from a fallen idol here in the Philippines.
If he wins, he lost. It's still Manny Pacquiao. This is Pacquiao country, so we are very, very deep in heart on whatever Pacquiao does. He fights, he creates laws.
He was a great fighter since before, and I'm so proud.
He will fight again for the Filipino people champ.
Here in the capital, Manila, the Pac-Man remains as popular as before the knockout loss. And come fight day, as is the case every time he's in the ring, these streets will largely be empty. Very few crimes occur when he fights as millions gather in front of their TVs. Warring sides as well put down their weapons. There is an unbreakable bond between Pacquiao and his Filipino fans.
That's one of the reasons I have to focus, and because of the fans, the support of the people, and they really want to see a young Manny Pacquiao.
But this is a new Pacquiao. He started training camp early for the Rios fight, and during sparring and workouts, he's looked especially sharp. Legendary trainer Freddie Roach says his fighter has put the knockout by Marquez behind him.
He said it's part of our sport, and you get knocked out is part of it. Part of what we do. And the thing is, that's why I don't think it'll affect him at all.
Which is great news for Pacquiao's fans, because what affects him affects them. Now, while the Pac-Man is the star attraction, 4 Chinese fighters are on the undercard, including Hong Kong's Rex So. And in our next report, I'll take on the undefeated super flyweight. We're calling it the Wonder Kid versus the Newsman. And Chris, I'm hoping you and Sonia will be in my corner for this fight.
Yes.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, thanks. 2 other news, more than 20 people were injured today in 2 separate traffic accidents. In one of the incidents, a 4-vehicle pileup disrupted traffic on Tuen Mun Road. Kurti Nandwani reports.
One of the vehicles involved here, a truck carrying fish. A KMB bus also sustained damage. The other 2 vehicles involved in the collision were slightly damaged. The accident happened at around 5 a.m. at the Yao Kom Tao section of Tuen Mun Road, heading towards Kowloon. Sources at the scene say the truck carrying fish had stopped on the slow lane, believed to be the result of engine problems. The KMB bus traveling behind failed to stop in time and rammed into the truck. The other 2 vehicles also failed to stop in time and were involved in the collision. All Kowloon-bound lanes on Tuen Mun Road were closed, causing severe traffic congestion during the morning rush hour. 13 people were injured. Most of them suffered minor injuries and were treated at Yan Chai and Princess Margaret hospitals. In another accident, about a dozen people were hurt in a collision involving a green minibus and a truck in Central. At around 9 a.m., the minibus, which was heading towards Queen Mary Hospital, collided with the truck at the junction of Devos Road Central and Queen Victoria Street. Those who were injured were sent to Queen Mary and Rattanji hospitals for treatment. Kirti Nandwani, TVB News.
One of the largest and most powerful hedge fund companies in the world has agreed to pay the largest penalty ever handed down for insider trading. As part of the deal, Wall Street firm SAC Capital Advisors will also plead guilty to criminal fraud. James Aiken reports.
Good afternoon, everyone. The case took more than 10 years to put together, but U.S. prosecutors were able to prove that hedge fund SAC made hundreds of millions of dollars illegally over several years. Yesterday, it was held to account.
One of the world's largest and most powerful hedge funds agreed to plead guilty, to shut down its outside investment business, and pay the largest fine in history for insider trading offenses.
SAC will pay a record $1.8 billion in fines and penalties. As well, 6 former employees have pleaded guilty to wire and securities fraud. 2 others are due to stand trial. It's the first time in decades that a Wall Street firm has confessed to such criminal conduct. SAC made its money by trafficking insider information on public companies on an unprecedented scale. The company's decentralized structure motivated employees to trade stocks based on big mergers or earnings. Profits were enhanced through sizable fees and deep relationships with major banks. Despite the announcement, it is business as usual at SAC. Prosecutors were not able to pin any wrongdoing on Stephen A. Cohen, the firm's billionaire owner, who feels he did nothing wrong and was unfairly targeted by federal prosecutors. Cohen still has billions at his disposal and will likely continue as a force on Wall Street. While it is not a complete victory, prosecutors hope the announcement will send a message to other firms that have not been playing by the rules.
It's that when you see 75 people and counting who are criminally convicted and who had every privilege and every bit of education and every opportunity and money to spare being convicted and being separated from their liberty in most instances, that has a deterrent effect on other folks. It's impossible to quantify.
James Aiken, TVB News.
Government investigators in Argentina are poring over hundreds of secret files they hope might shed light on a dark chapter in that country's history. The documents were discovered in Air Force headquarters in Buenos Aires. Many of them date back to the early 1980s during what came to be known as Argentina's Dirty War. It's estimated as many as 30,000 people disappeared after a 1976 coup. The documents reveal the names of blacklisted individuals, many of whom were prominent artists and entertainers.
Police in Norway have a man in custody after a deadly bus hijacking. The driver of the bus and 2 passengers were stabbed to death. The attack happened on a long-distance bus route on a remote mountain road in western Norway. Firefighters were first on the scene of what they thought was a traffic accident. They were able to hold the knife-wielding suspect until police arrived. There were no other people on the bus, but police say the suspect is a local resident in his 30s, originally from South Sudan. Investigators haven't yet determined a motive for his killings. Terror in the U.S. state of New Jersey as a gunman opened fire in a major shopping mall before killing himself. Hundreds of police converged on the mall in the city of Paramus just before closing time last night, and thousands were evacuated. No one was reported hurt. The man shot at least 6 rounds, seemingly at random. One store owner said a man dressed in black and wearing a motorcycle helmet shot straight up into the air. The 20-year-old gunman was identified as a known drug user. Chris, what do you have for us in more sports?
Well, we got one of the biggest horse racing days of the year. Fiorente won the Melbourne Cup today at Flemington. The Irish-bred horse was the favorite in the field of more than 20 horses. The race that stops the nation drew more than 100,000 spectators, with hundreds of millions of fans around the world watching on television. And there was little separating the horses for much of the 2-mile race. However, down the stretch, Fiorente, with jockey Damien Oliver on board, took charge and held off Red Cadeau at the line. The Cup win was the first for Australian trainer and former Doctor Who actress Gay Waterhouse. NBA now, and the Golden State Warriors handed the Philadelphia 76ers their first loss of the season. Andre Iguodala nailed 7 three-pointers against his former team and finished with 32 points for the game. Stephen Curry had a triple-double. Final score here, the Warriors 110 and the 76ers 90.
And that's an exciting wrap of our news. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Good evening. The weather was cloudy with a few rain patches. And as tonight's situation chart shows, the northeast monsoon is affecting southern China. Today's temperatures ranged from 20.9 to 24.2 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 79 to 98%, moderate to fresh easterly winds. The current temperature is now 23 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 82%. 3.6 millimeters of rainfall has been recorded since midnight. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? It will be cloudy tonight, 1 or 2 rain patches overnight. There will be bright periods during the day tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 21 and 25 degrees. There will be sunny periods in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's API is forecast at 30 to 80, and the pollution level will range from medium to high. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 5. And here's the latest global weather update. Cloudy in Shanghai and Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou and Chengdu, bright in Macau. Sunny in Beijing and Tokyo, cloudy in Seoul. Rain in Manila. Thunderstorms in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, rain in Jakarta. Showers in New Delhi, sunny in Karachi and Mumbai. Bright in Cairo. Bright in Brisbane, sunny in Sydney and Melbourne. Cloudy in Toronto and New York. Showers in Vancouver, sunny in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Showers in London, Paris, Frankfurt and Zurich. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.